Never forget, boys, before Cantarelia, we had Yanagi. Oh, yeah. In version 1.3 of Zenless Zone Zero, the ZZZ team debuted Skishiro Yanagi as the initial character for that game version. An ex-New Eridu Defense Force soldier whom played a pivotal role in ending the conflict of the Oni rebellions and becoming the guardian of one of their people. A child by the name of Sokaku, whom now shares a family-like bond with her, following the acting leader of the rebellion sacrificing herself through a blood ritual with Yanagi as a peace offering for their surrender. Years later, the half-blooded woman and her voracious little gremlin would join the Section 6 division of the Hollow Special Operations Disaster Response Team. As a playable character, Yanagi is an electric anomaly unit that has remained an incredibly strong pick in the game's meta since her release. Someone who I initially blew off alongside Lighter, who also debuted in 1.3, as a couple filler characters to make way for 1.4 and Miyabi. Please rerun him already. I know he was available for 1.5, but I am begging you. So after the ZZZ team robbed me of $276.78, I finally have Yanagi and can say that she's an incredibly strong and fun unit that I was completely wrong about. So in today's video, I want to take the time to explore her kit and what makes her a good unit. Yanagi's playstyle involves managing two combat stances with separate buffs and attack animations between them and amplifying the team's anomaly disorder damage with high damaging EX special attacks. Her stances can be easily identified by the color of her hair accessory or when looking at her dedicated HUD element at the top left of the screen. The blue Yogen stance will give Yanagi a 10% damage bonus to all of her electric damage, while the orange Kagen stance will give her 10% more pen ratio. Both stances will see her deal physical damage for the first and second hit of her basic attack combo, while hits 3, 4, and 5 will deal electric damage. Yanagi will retain the effects of the stance she swaps out of for 8 seconds, as well as gain a 45% electric anomaly buff to her basic attacks if her additional ability is activated. Tapping the special attack button will switch Yanagi between stances without consuming any energy. If this is done on basic attacks 3, 4, or 5, the stance changing attack will have its animation sped up, gain parry properties, and Yanagi will start at the third hit of her basic attack combo when resuming her chain. I should also note that performing a dodge counter will also start Yanagi in the third hit of her basic attack combo as well as performing her quick assist, defensive assist follow-up, chain attack, and ultimate. Holding down special attack will see Yanagi consume her energy to perform an EX special attack. She will perform a forward thrust, followed by a downward plunge attack, and receive a unique stance effect for 15 seconds, where the final hit of her basic attack chain will loop back into her third hit of her basic combo. Enemies currently under the effects of an anomaly attribute when hit by her EX special attack will trigger a secondary disorder effect known as a polarity disorder, independent of any other disorder effects, and can be triggered simultaneously. Her core passive doubles down on the offensive capabilities of her EX special attack by increasing the entire party's disorder damage as well as giving Yanagi an electric damage bonus. So long as the enemy is suffering from an anomaly attribute, polarity disorder has no other limitations to it. Yanagi's own shock attribute can also be a viable means of setting up for a polarity disorder. So to step back for a moment and to summarize it all together, do whatever you can to get Yanagi into looping basic attacks 3 through 5, change stances consistently to maintain uptime of buffs, take advantage of the parry functionality in her stance change, and perform EX special attacks when the enemy is already suffering an anomaly attribute to trigger her polarity disorders and buff Yanagi and the entire team's damage output. There are many aspects to Yanagi's kit that make her so good beyond her damage output. The first positive about Yanagi's kit is the many ways you can maintain her basic attack loop. The ZZZ team ensure that however you choose to respond to an enemy's offense, or how you'll rotate through her with the rest of your team, there are plenty of options to get her going and maintain the loop. Even if you do get hit, or happen to swap in Yanagi outside of quick assists or defensive assists, you can always pop an EX special attack or ultimate to get her combo going. The second positive I'd like to bring up is how Yanagi's parry effect on stance change presents a high skill ceiling for hardcore players. There are many times with Yanagi where I've performed a dodge counter to avoid one hit and avoided a follow-up hit by using her stance change. It's incredibly satisfying to do, as it allows you to maintain your combo loop and genuinely makes you feel like you're untouchable. The last great thing I'd like to talk about Yanagi is her viable teammate options. Being an anomaly-centered agent around triggering disorders, Yanagi's kit already fits right in with what dual anomaly teams are already aiming to do anyway, so she'll work with just about any anomaly character. And while this is a less popular option, you can always use Yanagi in a mono-electric team if that's your thing. Though if you do, you're gonna want to hold off on doing so unless you have Arena, preferably with Mindscape 1 for the higher buff up time. The last thing I'd like to point out with teammates is her synergy with Miyabi. Yanagi's polarity disorders count towards generating Fallen Frost for Miyabi through her additional ability, making her a crazy good battery for the all-ears Void Hunter. With all of this in mind, I'm confident in saying that Yanagi is one of the best units in Zenless Zone Zero, and in my opinion, the best to play out of all the anomaly units. If you're contemplating getting more than just one copy of her, her signature W engine Time Weaver is incredibly strong, though Weeping Gemini can get the job done just fine as well. As for Mindscapes, I'd say you don't really need any, but Mindscape 1 provides a lot of comfort with a stacking anomaly proficiency buff that is consumed to negate all damage if Yanagi takes a hit. Along with her parry functionality, she'll be an unstoppable force in the hands of the right player. As for everyone else who don't already own her, remember to give her a try either through character trials or when she's available occasionally in Hollow Zero before making the decision to pull for her. And with that, I have said all I really wanted to about why I love to play Yanagi in Zenless Zone Zero. Prior to Yanagi's release, I was severely lacking in a well-built electric character to shore my account's horizontal investment problem. And while I did have to skip Alice to go for Yanagi, I find her much more fun to play than the symmetry-obsessed Bunny Theron. She's definitely became my third favorite character in ZZZ alongside Vivian and Ellen Jo. That leaves me looking forward to the next lighter rerun, and then I'm all good on pulling characters until someone else gets announced that might grab my attention. But until then, this has been Arikado Zodan, and I'm clocking out.